Ladies and gentlemen, a world premiere. Live on Office Hours, it is one of my favorite comedians, America's #1 funny man, Neeeeeil Hamburger. Neeeeil Hamburger, welcome to Office Hours. Thank you so much for calling in.
Jesus Christ.
Neeeil Hamburger, welcome to the show.
I mean, is there any time left for me to do anything after all that? It seems we ate into some of the time.
No, so yeah, we're not gonna let you go as long as you'd like. How you doing, sir?
Well, we're hanging in there. I mean, it's definitely there's definitely positives to the current situation in addition to the many negatives. But speaking of positives, congratulations to your whole team there. I'm hearing that you guys have been winning awards for this show, and that's a very good thing. So you must be doing something right, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, there's no official awards.
What award did you hear that we won, Neil?
Oh, I'm hearing a couple different awards, I guess. Some of the awards that they give to these types of shows, some of the more prestigious awards and things of that nature is what I'm hearing. I wasn't at the ceremony, and I'm hearing this all secondhand, but a lot of people are talking about it and talking about the awards and writing about the awards. So congratulations.
Well, we've gotten a couple nice mentions in the press, but nothing, that I know of, Matt. I don't know if you know of any awards we've gotten, but it's nice people are talking about the show, so we're happy. So what are some of
Well, I'll ask around. I mean, I'm sure that my sources are correct.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm sure that.
I bet.
Well, because I'm hearing it from different people.
Yeah.
So, you should probably look into it, but as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So what are some of the you've been like everybody else. You're sort of in the same predicament. You're dealing with the quarantine, the pandemic. What are some of the things you said? There's some positive and some negatives. Maybe walk us through. I don't know. Start with the positives. Why not?
Well, I'd rather start with the negatives because there's a lot more of those. But,
okay. Go ahead. It's your.
I mean, the positives.
No, go ahead.
Do the positives. I mean, one good thing is that guys like you and your team are getting awards that I don't know that you would have gotten without something like this, because people are home and so they're tuning in, turning on the television and watching your show, and then these award committees are they're forced to actually think a little bit harder before they give out the awards and not just give them out willy-nilly.
Right.
And I think that when you think about it, that, as I say, cream always rises to the top. And that's why I think you guys have been winning these awards. And I think that's great.
Well, thank you so much. But so you want to start with the positive, you want to start with the positives or the negatives? It's really up to you, Neil. It's really your time. So I'm curious.
All right. Well, I guess one positive, and I think all of us who work in show business would agree, and I'm sure that includes everyone on your team, but also some of the listeners, perhaps. One positive is that when you do your show, you don't have to sit there and listen to these, quite honestly, terrible opening acts. These comedians, these opening comedians, and some of these bands that are just ghastly, And the amount of time that I spend each month seething, listening to some asshole going on and on about the worst possible topics, and I'm trapped because a lot of these green rooms are right behind or adjacent to the stage, and they pump in the sound from these losers who just drone on, and I don't care if you're getting only $5 for doing your show, you don't deserve it, because I'm not hearing anything good from these people, and that has been a relief. Every night around 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock, I thank my lucky stars that I'm not listening to that trash. So that's a good thing, and that's really.
So you're a working stand-up comedian.
Major positive.
You're a working stand-up comedian who's been doing this for many years. You're not you would sort of self-identify as not a fan of a lot of your opening acts or other comedians.
God, no, they're horrible people. And of course, the thing is that you got to worry about is when this is over. Imagine the bad material we're going to hear from these guys about this situation, and the jokes, of course. I mean, you guys can each come up with 10 of them right now, just by sticking your finger down your throat and vomiting. But these guys are crafting them carefully in their stupid, disgusting apartments, because these guys usually live several in one apartment because they can't make any money doing what they do, and they don't deserve to make any money.
Right.
But they're ordering chocolate chip cookies from Amazon or whatever for dinner, because these people can't cook. They don't know how to cook a radish, for instance. And then the Amazon runs out of the chocolate chip cookies and sends them. I mean, you can hear these punchlines coming a mile away. Sends them the gluten-free or the vegan chocolate chip cookie. And of course, that's 10 minutes of bad material right there, as these guys describe trying to fashion this into a cookie or whatever it is.
Well, you're hard on
these guys with the hand sanitizer. Right. And, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about any of this. We just got over years and years of this horrible, stewardess and bad airline food. And then just when you thought it was safe, it was replaced with these pot comedians who are just the shittiest people who ever lived. And the unfunniest.
The pot comedians. You're
they're
not
even gags. They're not even a gag. They just bask in the glory of their stupid addiction, and I don't want to hear about it. I don't care. You made bad decisions under the influence of marijuana. Move on and tell us a joke. And so you're going to get this. So I was so stoned. How do you smoke weed through the N94 mask or this type of thing? And it's going to be a bad period. People are going to wish that they were quarantined again, honestly, and maybe we'll start something online like a self-quarantining for people that can't stand life once they're released and have to listen to these jokes.
Interesting. So there's the positive side is that you've been able to avoid hearing all these terrible comedians and the pot comedy. But the negative is something that you see coming in the future, which is the return and the material being worse than it's ever been. That's terrific. What about another positive? Let's do another positive negative. Anything else?
Well, I mean, some of these tours have been canceled by these rotten people. The Rolling Stones, they've been isolated from each other, which is what I've been advocating for the last 50 years. And, keep these filthy people in their own little rat's nests, and don't put them together, because there's nothing worse than those guys together. You smell it from a mile away. That's why they play big stadiums, because if you play a little club, you put those guys on the stage. It's like if you scrape all the shit from the tiger cages at the zoo and load it in a truck and dump it onto a stage. That's how bad it smells.
Wow.
So yeah, they'll play Dodger Stadium. It's an open air stadium. And I just pray that they don't make solo albums during this time. Can you imagine that?
They might.
Ron Wood, my new solo album by Ron Wood. My God. Then the landfills get full, all this extra packaging from all the home deliveries. You've got all these Amazon bags and things, padded bubble wrap and stuff. They're going to fill the landfills, but it's going to be superseded by the Stones solo albums or the Kiss solo albums,
Or
at least those guys, I don't know if those guys at Kiss can go 10 minutes without putting on their stupid makeup. So they're sitting at home, shaking like an addict.
So the Kiss tour was interrupted by the shutdown as well, huh?
Thank God. They should put the asshole singer of that group, Gene Simmons. They should put him to work if he's breathing this fire. How about breathe it all over the streets and kill all the coronavirus droplets that are all over the streets?
The droplets.
Put him in a stroller or something, and you can lie down and they just wheel him around town as he breathes his stupid fire and sterilizes the sidewalk so that if I drop a corn nut on the sidewalk, I can pick it up and eat it again.
What other groups? What other groups are you happy to see off the road? I guess.
Well, all of them.
All of them.
Because these people, honestly, they take up valuable stage time that could be used for, comics such as myself, for instance. And also these people, let's face it, you don't want to touch a microphone after one of the Doobie Brothers has been on stage, and that's a pre-coronavirus problem. This has been a problem for years,
Yeah. You would advise other artists, comedians, musicians to avoid, even before the coronavirus, you would encourage them to avoid the microphones used by the Doobie Brothers. That's what you're saying?
That's what I've been saying for years. For years I've been advocating this. I talk to the comics I know. I tell them, get your own microphone and travel with a gallon of isopropyl alcohol, because these sound guys are almost as dirty as the performers, and they touch your microphone for a second, and that's contagious.
All right.
And so the coronavirus, in a way, has been nice for me because finally people are coming around to my way of thinking. And I hope that it continues with some of my other ideas. And I'll tell you something else. These joggers, you guys don't jog, do you? You don't look like you would.
Well, that's not
None
very,
of you guys
that's
jog.
not very nice. That's not very nice. But
Well, are you wearing fluorescent green spandex jogging outfits right now?
No.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
And so these guys, they are literally human aerosol cans spraying coronavirus all over everyone. And you go out on the streets, everyone has a mask except these joggers because they're so special, that they don't need it. But every time they step on the pavement, which is a lot of times, these guys will jog 5,000 steps, or 10,000 steps in half an hour. It's just spraying this stuff on everything. And if they're driving by cars, it's all over your windshield. And if they're driving by you, it's all over your face.
Okay, well, that's a good message.
These are, drooling. They drool, and they're disgusting people. And I'm sorry, but they're even worse in a way than the Rolling Stones, because those guys are cowered in the corner, shaking like they've got a fever, and it's just withdrawal. But these huffing, puffing joggers, they're putting themselves out there to infect us all.
All right, well, that's a good message to send out. That's a good message. That's a good message to send out is if you're jogging, stay at home or wear a mask or just be a little more. Maybe you can find a more isolated area to run around if you really need that exercise.
Maybe they can wear a snorkel and kind of stuff some paper towels down it.
Yeah, I suppose that would work.
Thank you. Yes.
Neeeeil Hamburger, we have to run, but is there anything else you want to kvetch about?
Yes.
Go ahead.
This is a positive thing now, guys. We have a new keychain out.
Okay.
Now a lot of these entertainers are putting out, bad specials or, and you got Netflix putting out just one horror show after another. I think Netflix created the coronavirus so people would be forced to watch these specials when they're locked indoors. But
wow.
We've done something different, which is just a non-intrusive keychain. This keychain won't hurt a fly. It comes with a key. It's a real hotel keychain with my logo on it. And they're selling them over at Flannel Graph Records on their Bandcamp starting tomorrow.
Oh,
you got to see these keychains. You got to get these keychains.
Well, that's
and
terrific.
I tweeted about them because I wanted everyone to see the keychains. You got to get one, Tim. You got to own one.
I would
Everybody
be happy
needs
to
own one.
I'm going to buy 5, and I'm going to give them away as gifts. I'm going to make sure they're sterilized and that they've not been a carrier of the disease. Are they sterilized at the home office
sterile.
there? What's that?
Yeah. No, they arrive sterilized.
There you go.
Clean as can be. Open them up, put them in your mouth. Do whatever you want.
You can shove them right up your ass if you want. I think that's terrific. Well, listen, Neeeil, thank you for checking.
We'll try advertising it that way. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and all the best to you.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. Yes, we'll look into those awards. Yeah, thank you.